Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caroline, and today we're going to talk about how did you find out you were an INFJ and how did you react to it. So basically this video is about INFJ, so we're going to just dive into it. So with my growing up experiences as an INFJ, which I won't need to go back, I guess I've talked about that, the challenges we go through on my previous video that I did maybe very many weeks ago. So yeah, we've had experience of our own, in each and every INFJ can testify the experiences they went through when they were growing up. And I feel like that's a video in itself, and I feel like it needs maybe more than one video, or but that's just a video by itself. But I remember, like all the experiences, and as I grew up, I was like, I'm just combining those experiences, and I'm like, and even my thinking pattern, I'm like, okay, who I am, like, who is this person, INFJ, we are more than just, we are very many things, I would say, because the thing even that made me like question most who I was and how I came to know I was an INFJ is the conflicting thoughts that I had and contradictory kind of personality, like I felt like I knew a person when I met a person, and I felt like after spending some time with them, I would know who they are and how they do things and why they do things the way they do. And like, people generally have this sort of a pattern. You see somebody do stuff and you're like, yeah, that person could do that, because you know them, like they have a way of doing things, and it's monotonous, like that's how they do it. Like there's just no other way other than like basically like that's just how they do, like basically that's how they do stuff. And it's not like it's a bad stuff, like that's how you know a person, from how they do things and why they do them. And it's like they have this one pattern that like you can understand and know them, but in one way I felt like I wasn't like that, or we as an INFJs, we're not like that. Like we do not have like a one pattern that we follow through. You might find us doing something totally different from what we did yesterday, last year, or we might not even believe in what we did last year, and we're over here doing something totally different from that. So if you're trying to catch up with that, in a way, like, okay, I know this person, because you might think you know me now, and tomorrow I might not do things the same way I'm doing them now. So it's kind of evolving or trying like new stuff, like trying new ways of doing things. If this doesn't work, we kind of like to dive into doing something totally different from how we did it yesterday. So right now I can simply define that and see like that's how it was. But before I was like, what is that, like? I feel I'm so contradicted, and that's how I felt. Or even like my environment, that's how like they kind of made me feel. And it's not like somebody will approach you and be like, hey, this is how you did this thing last year, why are you doing this thing differently? Like, who are you? Like, we can't keep up with you. Like, you keep doing different things like different times, and we don't know who. It's not like somebody will approach and tell you that, but you can tell by how people react to you. And and that comes in this way too. Like, you keep not you keep, but sometimes you do lose like old friends, because maybe the things you guys were doing together, you're not into that anymore. You're not into that anymore. Now they cannot understand you. They're like, okay, who is this person? Like, literally, we do not know how to handle this new version of you, So it's something in so growing up, you'd wonder like, hey, what's going on with me? Why am I not liking the things I liked yesterday? Why am I not liking the things that we did last year? Like, so that to me was like overwhelming. I was like, okay, who am I? Like, who is this person? Like, you just find yourself in that position. It's not like you're premeditated. It's not like you're like pre-planning, like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna change, oh, next year I'm not gonna do stuff the way I'm doing now. It's just like your experiences teach you how to like navigate through trying different ways of, you know, of living in a way. So that was my major question, like, who am I, why I think the way I think, why do I do things the way I do. And you know, the friendship part, like, I'll have a friend and then all of a sudden like things are kind of shaky, and I could feel, because we are very aware, like our awareness is very strong, so we know, well, definitely that's me, like going through something and they cannot understand it and I cannot understand, and it's conflicting and it's too much and we can handle it. So let it be, like, okay, let it be that way, you know, you be you, I be me. So with that being said, it's not like we want to go around losing friendships or losing people, or you know, just, it's just the way we live. That's our way of life. So to me, those questions, I was like, okay, I cannot even understand myself at this point, and people around me made me feel even worse, like, you know, I cannot understand that. And so yeah, that's how I came around. I love YouTube, so I was always on YouTube, and I'm a prayerful person too. Like, I used to pray to God. I'm like, oh God, who is this person that you created? Who am I? Like, who am I? Okay, funny story is like, I read the Bible and I'm like, I could find somebody in the Bible and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks like me. That looks like I will think that way. That looks like I will say things that way, you know? And it's crazy. So growing up, I would like, even if I watched like a motivational speaker, I'll be like, yeah, I could do things that way. But sometimes even some motivational speaker, I couldn't relate to anymore. Like, I couldn't relate to them. So those were my conflicting questions. So I came around, so I was on YouTube. I had prayed like for some time. It's like God, I just don't know. I just don't know. I really need to find out who I am. So I came around, what's his name? This funny guy on YouTube. He's so great. His name is James Frank. So I didn't even know about no James Frank. I didn't know about no personality types. I didn't know none of that. I was just going through my YouTube and he was on top of my suggestion list. And so on the thumbnail, it had like 4 personality types. I guess it was INFJ, INTP, INFP, and ISFP, I guess. So there were like 4 highlighted personality types. And at that point, I just took a screenshot. I'm like, personality types? Like, what's this? Like, immediately I was mind blown. I was like, I screenshot because I didn't want to get lost and I needed to find this guy just in case, you know, I go Googling, you know, those personality types and I can't find him anymore. So I screenshot and I go to Google. So first I checked the thumbnail and I'm like, so what captured my attention? Not even captured, like, I saw those 4 personality types highlighted and subconsciously I just picked INFJ. I was like, I needed to Google one of them, right, to find out what these are. And I just picked INFJ, and I didn't even say, like, I'm going to pick this INFJ first and I'm going to, you know, search for it. No, I just picked it up and I Googled it. And boy, oh boy, like, I related so much to that. Like, I went into deep research. Like, I Googled a lot. I read through, and I didn't even look at any of the type that day, because there's just no way this describes me this deeply. So that day I went into research and I was like, I was so relating to this. First of all, I was relieved and happy, and I'm like, okay, I'm not this alien, I'm not this weird somebody that can't understand. I felt alienated before because I'm like, nobody thinks the way I think. Like, if I come up with a suggestion, people will be like, you know, like, my thoughts were way out there. I felt, and now I can understand, like, okay, why this is happening. And then, so I guess the previous day I got the chance to look into uh, the other personality that I had taken a screenshot. I'm like, okay, I could see some stuff, like, you know, some stuff I could do, but I'm like, okay, no, this is not me. Okay, this is not me. This is not me. But and I went back to INFJ. I was like, this is it. I didn't even take a test. That's the thing. I did not take that test. I just saw INFJ and I read through it and I was like, there's just no way. So from there, and then I followed Frank James on all social medias. And then since I was binge watching like his video about INFJ, because I really did watch a ton of those videos. That was the very beginning. Like that was like maybe 2 years ago. I really did watch a lot of his videos. And so from watching that, I got other suggestions, you know, from other INFJs. And I was just, ooh, like, mom, I had spaced out from reality because I needed to find out what this was. So I was in my own world of like trying to read through, understand this personality type. So I went into deep research. Like I was just watching stuff and I could relate so much. So that's how I came to find out I was an INFJ. And since then, okay. I do not binge watch or binge research because now I kind of understand. And I did want to do this video for 10 minutes and it's like now 11 minutes over. So I might do another video explaining what my reaction was to that. I'll just like doing like a 10-minute video and you know, I don't know why, like 10 minutes maximum. So, and I feel like I've talked a lot without touching on how I did react. But you know, you can get like the gist, you know, like how I reacted to like finding out. I was like, it was it was something. I felt like, whoa, it was like a relief. It's a relief at that moment. And then when you come to understand it, and then, you know, it's another story. So, but first finding out, it's a relief. Like, okay, I'm normal. I'm normal, and I have my people I followed. I went online. I was just following INFJ, like, so. Oh my god, it was so awesome to finding out, like, you know, just who you are. Not finding out why am I an INFJ, because it has its own challenges. I have like sometimes like I wish I was another personality type, but you know that was the reaction. So the next video we'll discuss about. We can talk about, you know, how it reacted and how it went through, you know, how you go about knowing now, okay, you're an INFJ, so what now? What next? But that's about it for today. Thank you guys. Bye.